going to be really favored going long. If Stephen Ruck can put Bonde in a position where Bonde can't afford to play around something like Bonfire of the Damned or Haste Aristocrat, Haste Hellkite, he's going to do really well.
Okay, so I'm definitely excited to see what happens here. I think this match is going to be quick. I mean, it's not even 9 o'clock yet, and already we're on to the finals.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, oftentimes when players make the finals of a Standard Open, Legacy has already started. They get a round 1 bye.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it used to be the case.
Right.
But that hasn't happened in a while. But yeah, it usually comes a lot closer.
Yeah, nowadays. But for example, this tournament, 9 a.m., we're starting the finals.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're all ready to go. They're laying out their 7. Let's see if both players will keep. Again, Steven, to your left, he will be on the play. And
oh, that's a keeper.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Stomping around Arbor Elf and Thundermaw Hellkite. Why not, right?
Not too bad. He has the Bonfire too, which isn't at its best in the opener, but it's really good against Bonde.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so he'll keep that.
I think Bonde's also going to keep. I think he's a bit light of lands, but I think he has 2, and that's all you really want.
Yeah. Now, if you're just joining us right now, we're starting the finals of the Standard Open here in Worcester, Mass. Gerard Fabiano, Zach Hall coming to you live.
Yeah, so let's see what will happen here. Is Bonde still wondering if he should keep or not?
I think so.
Is it because he has no Ravnica shock lands and anything he might just be too slow?
I don't know. It seems like a pretty good hand. He has all the tools.
Yeah, no, I think he's keeping. All right, there it is.
Matchup.
So he doesn't want to play a turn Arbor Elf?
Wow, interesting. I think Stephen Ruck doesn't want to take 2 damage because he doesn't have a 3-drop in his hand.
So he doesn't want to ramp. So that's fine. Maybe he wants to keep the Junk Aristocrats off its curve. It doesn't want to have a Tragic Slip of turn 1. But then again, it could just be a turn 1 Doom Traveler taken away from him.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
So turn 2 Doom Traveler instead, and another slow land from Bonde.
All right, I think he's going to slam down this Huntmaster. And yeah, already Bonde is slightly in trouble.
Yeah,
turn 3
Huntmaster.
Huntmaster.
5 power for Stephen Ruck on turn 3. Bonde only with a Doom Traveler and 2 land. We'll see what his play is here.
All right, Bonde draws another Innistrad land, so that will also come into play tapped as well. I think Bonde has to just drop that Voice of Resurgence. I don't think he has much of an option. Maybe Cartel Aristocrat instead. Last time this came up, he played the Voice. This time he's playing the Cartel Aristocrat, and he'll pass the turn.
Yeah, and I think both times it was correct to play the Cartel Aristocrat, but this time he goes with my line.
Now, the Stephen Ruck has his 4th land, so he's able to cast the Thundermaw Hellkite. It looks like he does not, and Huntmaster is getting in there. All right.
It looks like Stephen Ruck's hand is filled up pretty well.
There's a Gorklam Rampager.
Now this makes sense.
Yep.
So Doom Traveler gets sacrificed, giving the Cartel Aristocrat pro green, so that'll save it from this combat, but he'll still take a bunch of trample damage.
Yeah, but I mean, this is really nice because now that Huntmaster will flip.
Right.
Yeah.
Gorklam Rampager is not a spell.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Blood Rush, so he's definitely going to pass. Huntmaster's going to flip. Let's go after that Cartel Aristocrat. Bonde will just sacrifice the Spirit right there.
Yep, he'll keep his bear alive, his Cartel.
Yep.
And he needs to develop his board. He needs to Tragic Slip that Huntmaster if possible.
Let's see if he... Oh, and he just drew a Tragic Slip. Wow.
How about that?
That's pretty crazy.
And a creature has died this turn, even though it was before the Tragic Slip was in hand.
Yeah.
It's still going to have Morbid enabled.
Yeah. I think I might want to run out that Blood Artist and Tragic Slip the Huntmaster. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that seems good. Blood Artist first. Tragic Slip, get the life gain online because Bonde is already at 14.
Yeah, the other option is Voice of Resurgence. Other option is I'm not sure what. So we'll see. What do you think Bonde's line of play here is?
Well, he has a Garrick in his hand, and it looks like he wants to deploy it, but I think you have to Tragic Slip this turn.
Yeah. All right, so Bonde wants to develop his board, and there's a Tragic Slip. All right, so we like what Bonde's doing here. We like how he's drawing, that's for sure. He loves how he's drawing.
He's drawn very well this tournament. You need a little bit of luck to get to the finals of a tournament. Play skill alone won't get you there.
Yeah, speaking of good draws, that's land number 4 for Stephen Ruck. So combined with the Arbor Elf, he's able to play that Thundermaw Hellkite. Right. And I think Steven's going to be pretty happy to see, 1 Tragic Slip already gone. He knows that Bonde doesn't have many answers to his really big creatures.
Yeah, 4 answers in the main deck. Michael Bonde, 4 Tragic Slip. He has Lingering Souls to chump block, but that's not a permanent answer.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what line of play Steven tries to take here. So, I mean, he made it this far. with his innovative Jund aggro deck. It's normally not a Jund aggro deck that you would see a couple of spicy cards there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep. So
Tapland and Flint Hoofboard. Maybe
Okay.
Stephen Ruck's sandbagging it a little bit, trying to bait out a Lingering Souls.
okay, yeah, I believe his hand is Thundermaw Hellkite along with Bonfire.
Yep, so Haste gets the Flint Hoofboard, and Stephen Ruck will come in, but the Voice will jump in front of the Wolf and generate an Elemental.
All right, so Bonde's got to be liking his spot right now. I mean, it was pretty bad before that tragic slip, but now Bonde's thinking this game's not really too out of reach for me.
Yeah, now little does he know, he'll need another Tragic Slip if he wants to be able to destroy that Hellkite.
Yeah. All right, Bonde untaps and draws a Temple Garden. I think he would want to get down that Garrick. Let's see if Bonde's on the same page, wants to develop his board with that Garrick Relentless.
Yep, and there it is. That'll probably fight that Arbor Elf right
Yeah,
there.
I think fighting that Arbor Elf is pretty nice here.
Yeah, and this might backfire for Stephen Ruck not playing the Hellkite. We'll see.
Yeah.
He'll need a 5th land.
Yeah, another option is just to make a token, beef up that Elemental, protect Cartel Aristocrat a bit more, but I think fighting is definitely what you want to do. You really want Garrick Relentless to flip.
Yeah, Michael Bonde, he knows that he's almost out of cards right now. He's only left with 2 spells in hand, one of which is an 0-1 Blood Artist, so he needs all the extra cards, all the advantage that he can get.
Yep. And do you think Bonde wants to swing in with both his guys, or do you think he might leave something back?
I imagine he'll swing in. The only haste creatures from Stephen Ruck have flying.
Yeah,
So-
or extra Flint Hoofboards.
Right.
Yeah, I mean Bonde is on 11, but with the Blood Artist in hand, he knows he's probably gonna be getting some life back. It's definitely close, but Bonde decides to play it a bit safe, I guess, and passes the turn to Stephen Ruck. Stephen does draw a Domerad, which could help here. Maybe he could fight something. Maybe he wants to develop his board a bit more. Not too sure. I think I see a Putrefy in Stephen's hand as well. So this double block might backfire from Bonde because of Putrefy. All right, so he's just going to chump block with that Elemental. And yeah, there it is.
Ooh.
So essentially a 2-for-1.
Yeah, it is, but at the same time, Michael Bonde protects his Garrick Relentless. Stephen Ruck only has 1 creature, so in Michael Bonde's eyes, his Garrick is safe hiding behind the Wolf.
Yeah, and speaking of wolves, I think Bonde just drew a Young Wolf.
Ooh.
So he might want to, run out the Blood Artist, run out a Young Wolf, sacrifice that Young Wolf, bring it back as a 2/2, and search his deck for maybe an Obsidian.
Yeah,
Maybe another Voice of Resurgence.
that seems pretty good, but instead he's just going to +1, get a Wolf.
Okay.
I would think next turn he'll -1 that
Sure.
card.
Yeah, so many options with the Junk Aristocrats deck.
Yeah.
All right, so Bonde builds up his board.
Yep, Varol's Blood Artist, that's pretty good. Stephen Ruck really needs a 5th land.
Yeah, it's
Another Domray, that's a blank.
Another Domerad. Now that I believe that Thundermaw Hellkite could have been a cast because he could have paid 2 life with that Blood Crypt, which would have allowed him to have his 4th land, and because of the Arbor Elf, he could have untapped the Stomping Ground, 5 lands, Thundermaw Hellkite.
Right, and I can't blame Stephen Ruck for not playing it. He wanted to bait out that the Souls or maybe even another Tragic Slip.
Sure.
But Garrick kill the Arbor Elf plus him not drawing a land for the last 2 turns really it backfired for him.
Yeah, maybe playing Domerad here and just having that Flint Hoofboard fight the Blood Artist. You want to get Blood Artist off the table. That's one of your more scary cards. Maybe he just wants to do a Bonfire for 1. That's another option.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. That would leave Michael with just the Varols.
Yes, and of course the Garrick, but maybe that's the line of play that he wants to take.
Right, it would at least get the Garrick to 2 loyalty counters. As the game's playing out right now, I don't think Stephen Ruck's going to be able to get too much more value out of that Bonfire.
Well, if Steven did draw a land that turn, he could have Bonfire for 2. Bonde would have definitely regenerated his guy, but all his creatures would have been either dead or tapped.
Right, that would have been really, really good.
And he would have been able to finish off that Garrick.
Stephen Ruck knows now that if he lets Bonde untap with that Varol's, Scavenge is going to happen, and the Bonfire is not going to do it for 2.
All right. So now, do you think that 1 damage is going to be redirected to the Garrick, or just go to Bonde's face?
I would think the Garrick, but Bonde is at 11, so maybe some combination of Thundermaw. Actually, yeah, no, it'll go to the face to put Bonde to.
No, it's going to Garrick. Wow. All right, so Bonde goes up to 13. He could have put Bonde at 12 because of the Blood Artist, but
yeah, unless it's a multiple of 5, like unless it takes a turn off the clock from the Thundermaw.
Sure, it's not going to matter that much.
Probably better on Garrick.
All right, there's Young Wolf. And there's the land, so I think it's going to be Obsidian time.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. -1, sack Young Wolf. go grab the legendary 5-drop.
Yeah, now all of a sudden the game really shifted into Bonde's favor. And I think that the game would have been much different if that Thundermaw was in play still.
Yeah, and I really don't blame Stephen Ruck for that play. I don't think it was a huge misplay. I'd call that a judgment call. I don't really know what's right.
Yeah, I mean, I think because of the bonfire in hand, you don't care that much to sit on Thundermaw to wait for Lingering Souls, because you could always just go bonfire for 1, take away at least 2 Lingering Souls tokens.
Right. So the Obsidian flickers out.
All right, so Stephen Ruck draws for his turn. I think it was a Gorklam Rampager. It looks like Stephen really loves his Jund aggro deck, and yeah, it's maybe it's gonna be the next big thing. You know, it was big for a while, kind of died down, and maybe it's gonna be on the uprise, especially with Cedric just coming second place with Jund aggro. I believe it was Jund aggro.
Yeah. I think I saw that tweet as well. Second place in the PTQ with Jund aggro. He was live tweeting it all day.
I was definitely following. Yeah.
So Stephen Ruck still lacking the 5th land. He might just have to play a Dome Ray Rod and look, which is not what he wants to do here.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens here.
Could he fight anything effectively? He could fight the Flint Hoof Boar with the Young Wolf, I guess, get it off the battlefield, but that's not that effective.
3. All right, Dome Ray Rod comes down. What do you think? Is it going to be a fight or a plus?
I think he has to fight.
Yeah. I think just fighting the Young Wolf here.
Yep, and Steven says the same things. He sees the same play.
Well, eventually you want to fight the Varas, but
yeah,
just to tap it, so now he can finish off the Garrett.
Right.
Yeah. It was essentially fighting the Young Wolf because there was no way that the Varas would not get the regeneration shield right there.
A little bit of a shortcut there.
Yeah, and there's the Obsidian that's going to blink back in.
So Michael Bond will be able to destroy Stephen Ruck's Planeswalker, drop him to 10. And maybe even more if he didn't draw a spell, because he'll be able to scavenge with that. With all those creatures in his graveyard, he has Doom Traveler, Voice, Blood Artist, Cartel, Young Wolf, tons and tons of scavenge fodder.
I think almost going just at the face is better.
Oh yeah, put Steven on a 2-turn clock?
Yeah, I think Michael Bonde probably doesn't want to, really bother with that Dome Ray Rod. He's like, yeah, that won't do too much. I'm just going to beat up my guys, and I'm just going to bash in.
Fair enough.
Bash in.
And usually you want to get a Planeswalker off the board as soon as possible, but in this case, it's probably better to go for Stephen Ruck's life total, put him in a couple turns of Garrick.
Yeah, basically he's just going to be on 2 life, and then a blink away would just kill him.
Right, and that's exactly what he does. 8 Varols, put Stephen Ruck to 2.
No, I think he's at 1 now, because he went for the Young Wolf as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 6, 2, 4? Oh,
yeah.
5.
Yeah, and then it's going to blink away, and there's a Keswick Wolf run, but that is not enough.
No, 5th land too late.
Yeah. All right,
well
so
played,
Michael Bonde wins a game where, look, Steven's looking up and he's thinking, yeah, maybe Thundermaw Hellkite. Lots of times, it shakes his head. Lots of times I do the same exact thing. I'm always saying, how did I lose that game? What other lines could I have taken? And most of the time when you look back, especially where you are left with lots of decisions, there could have been definitely a different line. You don't know that until after the fact.
Right,
it's all hindsight.
Like they say, hindsight's 20/20. Stephen Ruck says, "Oh, I didn't draw land for 5 turns. Now I know that I should have played Hellkite." But maybe his instincts were right. Maybe Bonde would have had 2 Lingering Souls in hand, and he would have gotten a ton of value from the Hellkite.
Sure.
It's hard to tell.
So we don't know. All right, so we have the last trivia question.
Oh yeah.
All right, Ruben wanted me to do a trivia question about the Somerset Invitational, which we did. Now I want to do a little fun trivia question. So I don't know if everybody saw this picture that kind of went viral last week after Reed Duke won the Grand Prix in Miami. But what happened was that when Reed was taking his photo op, we'll call it, when he's taking his photo pictures with the trophy, something broke down, and Reed was nice enough to help this person and push this something. So
that's not trivia.
it is trivia. Okay, so Reed Duke, the great man he is, ended up helping someone.
Yeah, he pushed someone's car up a hill. It's a great story.
Oh man.
What could it be, Gerard?
You gave it away. The answer was sorry. All right, so you do your trivia question.
I really wanted to do my trivia question because I'm a selfish guy.
All right, what is it?
All right, my trivia question, a little different. There were a bunch of copies of a really unique Dragon's Maze card in all the Jund player sideboards. You might have even seen it pop up in a Jund aggro sideboard, Stephen Ruck sideboard. It's an Ogre Warrior. It's a legendary Ogre Warrior that's been seeing more and more play, and what we're looking for is the name of the Ogre Warrior.
It's a really tough question because I don't even know the answer, but we'll leave this all on Zach Hall. So I guess if you guys want to win premium, tweet at SCG Live, hashtag SCG Premium right there on your screen.
1 full year of premium, use SCG Premium.
Why don't you ask that question one more time to make sure everybody at home understands this?
Yeah, for sure.
I think Carr, Reed Duke would have been better, but tell everybody.
So there's an Ogre Warrior, a legendary Ogre Warrior that's in the sideboard of every junk deck in our top 8. Or I'm sorry, every Jund deck in our top 8. Every Jund deck in our top 8. And my question is, what is this Ogre Warrior? And if you don't know, if you're like Gerard, if you don't know creature types, if you don't know card names, that's okay.
This is tough.
Go to Star City Games website, look up top 16 standard deck list. They're already up. Check it out, do some research, and tweet in.
All right.
SCG Premium. That's what you need.
All right. So we'll see if you get Zach Hall's question. I'm sure everybody at home would have got my question.
It's a pretty easy question.
Well, I mean, it's also an easy question, but it's something really cool because not every day could someone save the day and push someone's card to safety when it broke down. All right, so we'll have this sideboard up on screen just in a second. Stephen Ruck to the left of your screen, he's playing Jund Aggro. Michael Bonde to the right of your screen, he's playing Junk Aristocrats. So here in this matchup, it's a bit different. Michael Bonde wants Abrupt Decay here. He wants to be able to fight the smaller creatures and especially the Dome Rod. Dome Rod could take over the game, so he definitely wants to bring in his 3 Abrupt Decays. Other than that, he wants to bring in his extra Obsidian. He might want to bring in his couple of Smites. Especially Smite is something that could be very good against a Gore Clan Rampager type hand. We saw in game 1 where Stephen Ruck makes his attack with Huntmaster. Michael Bonde's like, yeah, I'll block. All of a sudden, Gore Clan Rampager. Just imagine if Michael Bonde had a Smite there. It just would have been a big blowout. So I think right here, Michael Bonde, and he's probably thinking the same, Smite's definitely an option, Abrupt Decay is definitely an option, and the extra Obsidian would be something nice for Michael Bonde to bring in as a Junk Aristocrats player to combat Stephen Ruck and his Jund aggro deck. Here, right now on the screen, you see the sideboard from both players. The sideboard from Stephen Ruck, that's not the actual sideboard. We're just trying to play a little April Fool's joke for you. He doesn't have any clones in the sideboard. He doesn't have any negates or renounce the kills, but we just wanted to play around with you guys. His actual sideboard is 3 Pillar of Flames, 1 Abrupt Decay, 1 Golgari Charm, 1 Dome Rod, 1 Garruk Relentless, 2 Deathrite Shamans, 1 Olivia Voldaren, which is an awesome card, especially against Junk Aristocrats. If Stephen Ruck could get to a point where he has a lot of mana, and Olivia Voldaren, Michael Bonde doesn't have too many answers, so we'll see how that plays out. He has 2 copies of Thragtusk, he has 1 Ruck Thar, and he also has 2 Rakdos Returns. All right, so there's the real sideboards. What do you think the Jund aggro player, Stephen Ruck, what is he going to bring in for sure?
Well, certainly the Pillar of Flames. That card is at its best against the Junk Aristocrats. Just what the card was designed for. He'll bring that in. He'll bring the Garruk in to try and fight Bonde's Garruks. He'll bring in the Olivia Voldaren. The Golgari Charm is really, really good for the all creatures get -1/-1 ability, and potentially big blowouts with Regenerate as well.
Okay.
I'm not sure about Abrupt Decay though. It's not that strong.
No. I would have to say he would want Abrupt Decay. He wants to be able to fight an elemental token if it gets to a point. He wants to be able to fight the flip Garruk. And also, one of the other problematic cards could be a Blood Artist. So I think he just wants all his cheap removal in, and I think the card that he might want to take out is Falconwrath Aristocrat, just because it is a 4/1 flyer, and against Lingering Souls it might not be that good, and I don't think he wants expensive cards. I think Stephen Ruck's going to look at this and say, okay, for my 5-drop, I definitely want Thunderbolt Hellkite. For my 4-drops, I definitely want Huntmaster of the Fellas.
Olivia,
I definitely want Olivia. That's more important. Even for the 5-drop, I wouldn't be that surprised if he changes something like -1 Thunderbolt Hellkite +1 Thragtusk, for example. So Bonde's going to bring his Abrupt Decays to fight the Dumbmerades, but I don't think that it's going to be that... it's going to be really close, I would say.
Yeah, me too. The sideboarding for these players, it really depends a lot play versus draw. Stephen Ruck will probably have all 3 Domrays on the play, but I don't know about on the draw.
Do you not like Dumbmerade in this matchup?
I don't think it's that great. I think Michael can overload it with creatures. I think he can attack it with a Cartel Aristocrat pretty easily. It's okay, but ultimately not what Stephen Ruck wants to be doing.
Yeah, I think Falconwrath Aristocrat might be the least powerful card here. Maybe Dumbmerade as well. We'll see what happens. Putrefy, I mean, he needs the answer to Obsidian, so he's going to have to leave in both Putrefies, I would say. And of course, Bonfire of the Dam is one of his all-stars. So Stephen Ruck is mulliganing. Michael Bonde is going to keep. Bonde's got to be loving this right now. He's up a game in the finals, just pretty much crushing him through the whole tournament. He did start off 7-0 until he got his first loss. He was 7-1. He came up to me. He said, "Hey, I just lost. I'm 7-1. Do you think I should draw this round and then probably try to play it out the last round? Or do you think an 8-2 will get in?" And being a commentator, I just said, "Hey, I don't know anything. All right, it's up to you. But whatever happens, good luck." And he ended up playing it out. He won. He was 8-1, and that pretty much secured a seat for him in the top 8. He ended up drawing the last round. He was 8-1-1. He became our 4th seed, and being the 4th seed isn't that bad.
Yeah, it turns out Stephen Ruck was able to go 8-0-2 through the Swiss. He played his friend in the. He actually played his friend Brian Swatkins in the 8th round, playing for 8-0, playing for the right to double draw into the top 8. But he defeated his friend. And his friend made top 8 anyway. So
Sure.
Really good story.
All right. So Stephen Ruck will be on 6 cards. He will be on the play. He is down a game. Let's see what this Jund aggro deck can really do on 6. And I see 2 lands, so I think that's enough. Absence Pilgrim's an interesting choice here. I guess you really want the mana ramp, but have it producing just a colorless land essentially isn't the best thing for Jund aggro.
Yeah, it has to have that critical mass of the mana elves, and speaking of that, M14 is really going to help that deck.
For sure.
I'm not sure if you're going to write about Jund aggro in your article. It's kind of maybe even too new for that, but the new Llanowar Elf will help.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so there's a Forest and an Absence Pilgrim, and just a Temple Garden for Michael Bonde. Ooh, a Pillar of Flame drawn.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's no red mana in Stephen Ruck's hand. He only has a Cavern of Souls as his last land, I believe. One of his 2 copies of Cavern of Souls. So he might even be reluctant because he doesn't know what he wants to name exactly.
Yeah.
We'll find out in a second what that Cavern of Souls will be naming as the Absent Pilgrims swings in for 1 point of damage. It looks like a human. And there's a Flinthoof board.
Okay, so Stephen Ruck really just needs to draw a red source. Something like Blood Crypt would be perfect for him and get him rolling here.
Okay, so Voice of Resurgence
Oof.
comes down from Michael Bonde, and Stephen Ruck will just pass the turn. Now, I don't know if you guys saw, but last turn we saw that Michael Bonde drew a Smite.
Wow.
Yeah,
he
so
did
one of his
board
sideboard
the
cards.
yeah.
And they're just back and forth. Looks both players are stuck on lands. What will Bonde do? Just a Doom Traveler.
Bonde has a few plays he can make on 2 or 3 lands.
He's going
but-
to attack with his Voice Researches. Now that he has Doom Traveler, he wants to use that Smite.
Right. Oh, there it is. Stephen Ruck draws the black source. Not a red source, but this will at least allow him to play Garrick Relentless. Get that out there.
All right, what do you think he wants to do with Garrick? Just make a beast?
You can't really fight anything.
Make a 2/2 wolf?
Yeah, I would make a 2/2 wolf right here. The flip version of Garrick is a lot better in Bonde's deck than it is in Ruck, so I think making wolves, just churning them out, that's going to be fine. Bonde bricks again. He has 3 lands, but no black sources.
Yeah, he probably liked his opening hand. He liked the fact that Stephen mulliganed, but just a couple of unfortunate draws for him.
Right now, Stephen also is mana screwed. He doesn't have any red mana except for Cavern of Souls on human, which red humans, there aren't too many in his deck.
Yeah, just Huntmaster is the main one here. Garrick will make another wolf, and I think Steven might want to swing with that Flinthoof boar, maybe not.
Yeah,
right now it's only a 2/2, so you might want to wait until he draws a mountain.
I think he's going to wait till one more turn until he gets a little more critical mass of wolves. Next turn he'll be able to swing with wolf, Flinthoof.
All right, so
but forget all that because here's a black source.
Yeah, so there's Overgrown Tomb, and probably Garrick should take out the Garrick, and Bonde's now completely back in the game.
Yeah, he is. The Garrick got Steven quite a bit of value, but Steven's still without a red source here.
Yeah, he draws a Putrefy, which will help. It's just basically Steven's at a point where he wants to draw a red source or any spell he could cast without red mana.
Right. So Putrefy, Bonfire, Pillar. Stephen Ruck's going to have to get on the offensive here now that Michael's drawn his black source.
Yeah. Would you block here, or would you just take this damage?
Yeah, I think I'd trade it off. I would think, okay, my opponent's mana screwed. I have all my colors. I want to play safe now, but
okay.
Bonde disagrees.
Sure. I guess maybe he wants to set up something with those Tragic Slips or with that Smite. Kind of big blowout turn. We could go Smite, Tragic Slip, Tragic Slip. So there's a 2 life from a Godless Shrine. Drawing running lands definitely helps Bonde's cause. And I believe this is a Blood Artist.
Yep, looks like Blood Artist is coming down for a black and a colorless. Bonde.
That was probably another reason why he didn't want to do any trading. He's like, if I'm going to do any trading, I want the trades to happen when I have both my Blood Artists in play.
Fair enough, yeah. So another Blood Artist. And Bonde holding up Smite. Steven Ruck doesn't, well, wow, he's attacking.
Yeah, I think attack there is fine.
Okay.
You know, an attack there definitely will cause Steven Ruck to certainly attack Bonde, where Bonde was able to use the Smite and try to blow him out in combat by getting multiple life with the Blood Artist.
So really just unlucky series of draws for Steven Ruck here. He's running cold in the finals, no red sources here, no 5th land in game 1, no red sources in game 2. He has to do something about these Blood Artists. His time's running out.
Yeah, you can see Steven Ruck shake his head here. He's thinking, what can I really do? And it's not much until he draws a red source. That's what it's really going to come down to.
Yeah, he has a Putrefy available. That's the only spell that he can cast left in his hand.
Yeah, and he's able to cast it because of the Arbor Elf. It's Avacyn's Pilgrims, Arbor Elf, Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Right.
Avacyn's Pilgrim doesn't really help the cause to cast the Putrefy, but Arbor Elf will be able to untap his Forest or Overground Tomb and kill one of the Blood Artists.
Yep, Michael Bonde will trigger, though, 13 to 12.
Yeah, 2 life is lost from Steven there. Bonde will gain 2, so... You know, multiple blood art is definitely really nice.
Yeah, it's almost a little reminiscent of the Affinity days with Disciple of the Vaults, active player, non-active player triggers kill you during your upkeep type of thing.
All right, so Doom Traveler just blocks there. I'm surprised he doesn't want to use a Smite.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe he was trying to save that for a Flint Hoof Boar.
Okay, or just something more important.
Right. Oh, it is a little weird. Maybe he wants the 1/1 flyer, try and race Steven Ruck with that Blood Artist and the Spirit Token.
Sure, especially with maybe Gavany Township.
Bonde must realize at this point from his opponent's grip and from his opponent's facial expressions that as soon as he draws a mountain, that Bonde is in rough shape.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looks like his hand is Smite and triple Tragic Slip.
Wow.
He does have black mana now, or is it another Blood Artist? Oh, that was another Blood Artist. Okay, so it looks like Smite, Tragic Slip, Tragic Slip.
Yeah, this makes a little more sense now why he didn't want to Smite last turn.
Sure. All right, so Voice of Resurgence and the Spirit Token will come in. 3 points if Steven doesn't do anything, but I think at this point Steven has to just put that wolf in front of the Voice of Resurgence.
Right. You can't really. I mean, it stinks to have to trade off when there are 2 Blood Artists in play, but he can't let his life total get too low, or else the Blood Artist will kill him regardless.
Sure. We'll see what happens here.
He just takes it though.
All right.
Takes 3 from 11, down to 8.
Okay, Bonde will pass the turn holding Smite and 2 Tragic Slips.
Wow,
Goreclam Rampager looks like not what Steven wants to draw there. Pretty unfortunate that he's just drawn no red mana, or even something like a Borderline Ranger to help him out.
Yeah, just really unlucky series of events for Steven Ruck. He did mull the 6 already. He didn't want to go to 5. I can't say I blame him. A 3-color aggro deck on 5 cards it can be an ugly thing.
Yeah. So Steven now just has to focus on the actual board presence. There's a Tragic Slip taking out the Arbor Elf. Yeah, most important elf there compared to the Avacyn Pilgrims.
Right, Steven Ruck drops to 6 from the pair of Blood Artists, and now all that has to happen, 3 creatures need to die.
Yeah, and I think that'll be pretty easy with Smite and Tragic Slip.
Right.
So he'll, especially with Township as well.
Township too, yeah.
Yeah. So Bonde will separate his mana and make sure he has double black after that Township activation if that's the route he decides to go. He'll swing in with Voice of Resurgence and the 1/1 Spirit Token. I'm certain if things go according to plan, as long as Bonde doesn't make any mistake here, we're going to see a nice So,
a cheer, a fist pump, a high five.
Yeah, I think so. All right, Steven Ruck's thinking. Bonde's saying, all right, you got anything or what?
Bonde on the verge of becoming a Star City Open champion. We'll see what Steven Ruck can do about it.
All right, Township. That's going to be 2 damage. 2 Blood Artist triggers. That's another 2. And then it could finish it off right now with the Tragic Slip.
I think so. Steven Ruck at 2. Is Bonde going to slow roll him here?
Bonde wants to make sure everything's in order. All right. Just a Tragic Slip away right now. just tap that land, and we'll have a fist pump or something. Oh, he's gonna try to win with Smite.
Style points.
Yeah. All right, and there's a Blood Artist. All right, good game. Yeah,
Bonde.
Bonde's happy about that. So
Wins the Star City Open.
Yeah, there it is. Double fist, double thumbs up. That's awesome.
Congratulations to both competitors, Stephen Ruck,
Yeah.
Michael Bonde. Really impressive top 8, really impressive finals. Just a great, great top 8.
Yeah, you can tell he's really happy. That's awesome. All right, Michael.